Hello, hello, welcome to Heal and Ascend to Row. So today we're going to be doing a reading for what Divine Masculine isn't telling you. Okay, so this is specifically for twin flames. So if you're in a twin flame or even a soulmate type of connection, this will probably work for you. This is a timeless reading, okay? So if it doesn't resonate today, it might resonate next week. If you want to book a personalized reading with me, I offer $10 off using the promo code LOVE on any of my readings. That's going to be posted down below, but I'll also have a little banner on this video as well. Okay, so let's get into it. So let's see what Divine Masculine isn't telling you. Okay, so what is your Divine Masculine not telling you at this time? So for some of you, maybe you're communicating, but he's just not telling you, or maybe you're not in communication and you're trying to know what's going on with him. What is he hiding? Okay. So we have nostalgia. So what your Divine Masculine isn't telling you is that he's missing you. He's thinking about the past times the two of you had. He's thinking about the past memories. And there's definitely a lot of nostalgia. I feel like he's holding on to these past memories very dearly. Okay. Wow. So we have offer. Okay. He's also not telling you that he's possibly wanting to make an offer towards you. He's maybe wanting to offer to take you out, maybe offer communication, offer something. Because of this missing you, because of this feeling of longing for you, wanting to see you, thinking about the past, he is thinking about making an offer, okay? So let's see what else we have here, guys. So these cards are a little bit hard to shuffle, so I usually just pull them. So let's see here. What your Divine Masculine isn't telling you. Okay. This usually comes out in these readings when I do these Divine Masculine readings. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got some heavy energy. But so what your Divine Masculine isn't telling you is that he's having dreams, okay? We have dreams here. So there could be a lot of nostalgia because maybe he's getting memories in his dreams, or he's having actual physical dreams of you. So when he goes to bed at night, he wakes up and he wakes up with these memories of dreams that the two of you guys shared. Now, oftentimes in twin flame connections, it is very common for the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine to try to work out issues in the 4D plane. Okay, so the 4-dimensional reality, which is the dream state. So we have the 3-dimensional reality, the 4-dimensional reality, and the 5-dimensional reality. 5D is the spiritual state. It's your consciousness, okay? So when you spiritually awaken to the highest degree possible, you're in the 5D state. There are a lot of people who are awakening to that 5D state. However, it's not super common, but the 4D state definitely allows you to connect to different conscious beings, different souls on the soul plane, right? So you don't actually have to be physically in front of them to connect with them. So I'm seeing here that your masculine is definitely connecting with you in the dream state. And we have here that he's feeling abandoned, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit more clarity on this. I'm actually going to take a look at the book. But this is definitely indicating to me that the masculine could be feeling kind of abandoned by the feminine right now. So he's not telling you that maybe he feels a little bit alone. Maybe he's feeling that the feminine is kind of moving on without him, okay? But there is definitely some nostalgia here. So let's take a look and see what we have for abandonment. Okay, so your insecurities are not serving you well. Your pain from previous experiences now feeds your internal fears. Through a lack of support, you have devalued yourself, feeling unimportant, even believing others see you as inadequate. When you have to mask a part of who you really are in order to be accepted, then you suffer the devastating effects of abandonment. So wow, guys, this is deep. Okay, so what your masculine is not telling you is that they're still dealing with some very intense insecurities. They feel like they have to mask a part of themselves to the world. So I feel like a lot of them, this is not necessarily with the feminine. I feel like this is more so in their own world. They're feeling like they have to hide a part of themselves. And because they have to hide that part of themselves when they're around people, they're actually feeling a deep sense of loss, of abandonment. And on top of that, I feel like that's why they're really longing for the feminine, because the feminine brings in that sense of wholeness, right? That sense of wholeness and well, essentially with the twin flame connection, you guys are mirroring each other. It's a one soul consciousness. So When the masculine is in the presence of the feminine, it's a reminder of what it's like to be whole, okay? So now it doesn't mean that the other person makes you whole. It means that that person is mirroring what it feels like to have that completion within yourself. So the masculine is definitely longing for that, okay? I'm seeing here the masculine hasn't quite figured out how to find that on his own yet. Maybe the feminine has found out how to do that. Here, especially if I'm seeing here, because there is so much nostalgia, it means that the feminine is probably standing in her power, okay? I'm seeing here that the masculine's catching up because he is wanting to make an offer, but these are the things that he's not sharing with you, is that he is still having dreams, and he is still dealing with abandonment issues, okay? So, just move this to the side. All right, Spirit, so what else do we have here? What is the divine masculine not telling the divine feminine? Contracts. Financial constraints. Okay. This kind of goes hand in hand, but I'm getting a couple different messages because, again, this is a very general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everyone. But for some of you guys, what your divine masculine is not telling you is that he is still trying to get out of a contract. So this could be financial, this could be marital, so he could be still married and he's trying to get out of that. He's getting a divorce. There could be a lot of paperwork that still needs to be done. So these are things that are kind of stressing him out, things that he knows he has to figure out, he knows he has to deal with, but could be putting to the side, okay? So like I said, it could be some of you guys, he has to get out of a marriage still. Some of you, he might have to get out of a job or a career. For some of you, he could be financially tied with another person and he has to cut the cords on that. And then for some of you, it's just financial constraints. So he literally just has some issues with his finances. And this is something that's worrying him. He might feel like he doesn't have enough to offer at this time, even though he wants to make an offer towards the feminine. So I feel like he is very stressed out about his finances at this time. These are things that are definitely starting to worry him, okay? Because oftentimes the masculine wants to feel confident when it comes to the physical world. You know, the masculine energy is the first three chakras. So the root chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and the sacral chakra. And the root chakra is all about safety, security, money. So if the masculine doesn't feel confident in the areas where he's supposed to feel confident, it really makes it difficult for him to approach the feminine, okay? So what else is your divine masculine not telling you? What is the divine masculine not telling you? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the 8 of Swords, which talks about restriction, and we also have the 10 of Swords, so heavy energy, and this talks about endings. Okay, so yeah, I would definitely see here with the 8 of Swords, the masculine is feeling like he's still restricted. So for some of you, like I said, he's still in a contract with someone else, whether it's work related or it's a marriage. So he's feeling restricted. For some of you guys, it's going to be that he's still mentally constricted. So what I mean by that is, you know, he's built himself a mental prison, right? Because the 8 of Swords often talks about thoughts and mental, right? The swords are about thinking. So he's still caught up, and a lot of it has to do with maybe he's overthinking the financial constraints. Maybe he's feeling like he has to be somewhere financially before he can approach the feminine. Now, I'm sure most of the feminines are not that concerned with this, but it's something, like I said, it's important to the masculine. So these are things that are going to affect him when it comes to approaching the feminine. And I'm seeing here with the 10 of Swords, he's still going through some sort of painful endings, okay? Because the 10 of Swords is pain. It is endings, but it's painful endings. So I'm definitely seeing here, especially if some of them have to get out of really messy divorces, past relationships, whatever it is, they're still dealing with these endings. Even if they've ended, maybe they're still feeling the pain of it, or these are things that they still have to put to an end, okay? All right, let's actually grab some mixed emotions. So let's see how the divine masculine is actually feeling towards the feminine. So these are things that he's not telling you, but this is how he's truly feeling. So I'll pull some romance angels and I'll pull some mixed emotions. I'll start with the romance angels, actually. Okay. I think one day I do want to do a video on the 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, and 5-dimensional realities, because I think it'll really help a lot of you guys to understand why there's a spiritual connection, but why it's also important to have boundaries in the physical world as well, because I think some people get too caught up in the spiritual journey and forget that you have to ground things in the physical world as well. Okay. Oh, wow. So the masculine's feelings. So we have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction, and we have calling in your soulmate. So your masculine is trying to call you back towards him, okay? He could even be doing affirmations, visualizations, meditations, whatever it is. I feel like he's definitely trying to bring you back towards him, okay? He does feel a strong magnetic attraction towards you. So even though you might be a distance from this person, he's feeling a pull back towards you, okay? So let's see what else we have. So what the Divine Masculine is feeling but not saying or telling the Divine Feminine at this time. Let's grab some mixed emotions. How is the Divine Masculine feeling, Spirit? I don't know why I knew that card was going to come through. The Free. Okay. Yeah, so remember how we had abandonment come through? We have the Lonely. Okay. So right now he is feeling free though. He's feeling unburdened, right? So oftentimes when the twin flames come together, the masculine can get very easily overwhelmed with it feeling like a lot of pressure. So right now, I feel like if you are, well, some of you could be in communication with your masculine, some of you might not be, but either way, he is feeling a sense of freedom. So more freedom than he used to have in the past with this connection. And it could be because you're not communicating, so he feels more free. But for some of you, if you are in communication, maybe there's more of a balancing of things out, because he's definitely feeling a sense of freedom and having his independence. And that's why there's this strong connection here in this chemistry. But right now, he is also feeling lonely, okay? So if you guys are not together, he's feeling a sense of isolation, abandonment, and loneliness, okay? And there's also some guilt here. So he's carrying some guilt from the past about maybe how he treated the Divine Feminine. So I'm actually going to take a look and clarify why we have guilty here. I know for some of you it's going to be different, but let's see if we can get some detail on why we have this guilt. And then I'm going to pull some messages for you from your masculine. Okay, so why is the Divine Masculine feeling guilty, Spirit? Why is the Divine Masculine feeling guilty? Strength. Okay, so this could have to do with ego. So he could be feeling guilty because maybe he allowed his ego to get in the way in the past. Okay, let's see what else we have. Yeah, we have the Tower and we have the World. Okay, so yeah, I feel here that obviously between the two of you, there was some sort of completion or ending with the World card, and with the Tower, this could have happened very abruptly. It could have been very chaotic. Maybe it could have been avoided the way it happened. Okay, so maybe things didn't have to come crashing down the way that they did, but they did. And I feel like your masculine is feeling really guilty for this because he's aware that it could have been his ego that got in the way and allowed him to allow things to come crashing down in this way. So he's still carrying the guilt of the past. So this is something that he's not telling you. He's not communicating with you, but he is still feeling really guilty about maybe how he treated you in the past. And that could be affecting his level of worth. And I feel like that's also why we're having him dealing with some sort of insecurities as well. Okay, so let's take a look and see what his messages are for you. All right, Spirit. So what is the Divine Masculine not telling the Divine Feminine? What is the message at this time? We will be together again. So your masculine is planning on coming back towards you, which is why we had the calling in your soulmate. He wants to come back, and he will come back is what I'm getting, because we have the we will be together again. So he plans on being with you again, and this is something that he might not be expressing to you. Okay, yeah, and we already had the nostalgia card, so we have this here. I miss you regardless of how things seem. So again, he might be acting like he doesn't care, he's not interested, maybe he hasn't communicated with you, but he misses you regardless of what he's showing on the outside, okay? Let's get 2 more messages, Spirit. Wow, so very attracted to you. Your beauty still moves me. So your masculine is probably watching you, maybe looking at photos, looking at videos, watching you on your social media, and he's still very moved by your beauty. So there's still a lot of attraction here for the feminine. And I'm not the same person that you remember. okay? So what your masculine is not telling you is that maybe through some time of separation, he's really done some changes. He's really made some changes on himself, and he's not the same person that you remember. And I think that's why he is experiencing so much guilt, because he's looking at the past thinking, you know, how could I have done that? How could I have said that? How could I have, whatever it was. But these are things that he's definitely needing to release. But in the meantime, for you guys who are looking for some clarity on your masculine, this is what I have for you. So I do hope that this reading was helpful. If you wanted to book another reading in the near future, or sorry, I'm always doing my closeout for my personal readings. If you guys wanted to book a reading at all of my information is down below, and if you wanted to do the $10 off, you can use that code. Just make sure that you hit the arrow at the checkout and it'll show you how much is coming off, okay? But I'm sending you love and light. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed, definitely give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.